Thank you, Daniel. Running battles pitting police officers against rioters, rapid gunfire and clouds of white tear gas smoke were the order of the day in parts of Nairobi, where protesters took to the streets to participate in the opposition's reignited demonstrations against the government. Amid the chaos, 2 vehicles, including a Kampala-bound cargo truck, were torched. Residents and police officers injured, as well as businesses and transport disrupted, especially in the hotspot areas of Kibra and Mathare slums. KTN's David Muthoka paints the picture of how the day was like in areas within the country's capital, where demonstrators staged anti-government protests.
Tuesday morning along Ngong Road, which is arguably one of Nairobi's busiest highways, a bus is up in flames. Yellow flames lick almost every part of this 32-seater public service vehicle as billows of dark smoke escape into the cold morning air. Within minutes, the bus is burned and is left a shell of its former self when the fire finally subsides. A few hours later, another vehicle also goes up in flames, just several kilometers from the first scene of crime along the southern bypass. This time, it is a cargo truck said to be ferrying power lines and cables to Kampala, Uganda, when it ran into unknown assailants who are hell-bent on reducing it into ashes. The truck's driver and his assistant escaped death by a whisker.
Nilikuwa nasafiri tu vizuri. Sasa tukiwa pale chini maskari wakatuambia barabara iko sawa. Tukifika hapa hivi wakaanza kurusha mawe, wakakuja na crowd kubwa, wale askari wakatoroka. Sasa ndio wakanikujia. So kuna magari zilikuwa zinageuka. Mimi nilikuwa najaribu kugeuka vile unaona. But wakakuja in numbers wakapiga gari vioo. Lakini nikajaribu nikasave nikatoroka.
The two incidents happened in the wake of a return to demonstration against the government staged by the Raila Odinga-led opposition side. Nearby, the Kibra slums were once again the stage for clashes between anti-riot police officers and rioters. Sections of roads passing through the slums were blocked by rioters who proved to be headache for police officers tasked with preventing the protesters from going to the Nairobi Central Business District, the destination for today's protests. More battles, including running battles, were witnessed on the other side of the city, Mathare slums. On one end were rioters pelting police officers with stones and glass bottles, and on the other were police officers lobbing tear gas canisters into the air to disperse the rioters. At times, the police officers were forced to shoot in the air to keep the advancing rioters at bay. Terrified residents could only look from their balconies as the exchange of stones for tear gas and blank shots ensued, while those on the grounds were forced to scamper for safety from their covers whenever there was some semblance of a ceasefire. When the confrontation seemed to be headed to a stalemate in the evening, the officers changed tact and started going after rioters with the most fire in their bellies. Not one, not two, but 10 were arrested and will be spending a night in the cold police cells awaiting arraignment. And on a day occasioned by running battles pitting police officers against rioters, shops, hotels and any other forms of businesses bore the bigger brunt as they remained closed the entire day, while transport was as well paralyzed for hours. David Muthoka, KTN News at Mathare, Nairobi.
Kisumu City, which has been the epicenter of past Azimio